So once again, the Jamaica justice system has disappointed me severely. And once again, I have to bring up Vibes Cartel. Vibes Cartel. If you remember correctly, Vibes Cartel was given the same sentence as this individual that I am about to speak about. And I want you to remember the details in the Vibes Cartel case. I want you to remember that they don't have any proof of any of what they said happened as far as how they said Lizard died. If Lizard is dead or he's alive, I don't know. But I know that they do not have any proof of how he died the way they described how he died. They said he was beaten with a pickaxe stick and blood should have been everywhere and all these other things. And none of that, not a shred of evidence. But the man ended up with 35 years before he is eligible for parole. The same kind of sentence that they gave to Simone Campbell Collymore's contract killer. And it's splashed all over the newspaper now because the Gleaner just published that this guy, contract killer Wade Blackwood, who pleaded guilty to the shooting death of businesswoman Simone Campbell Collymore and taxi driver, two lives he took, Winston Walter, in Red Hills, St. Andrew, was this morning sentenced to life in prison. Before I read this article, let me say this. Some people are going to say, Chaman, SouFLo, you know how the system works already. If you plead guilty, you get your time reduced. However, this youth was caught on camera, on CCTV. And he didn't need to plead guilty because they already had him on camera and he was identifiable. However, he still pled guilty, but he took 2 lives. Took lives from people who were progressive, productive citizens of the country who had nothing to do with him. Somebody contracted him to take lives and he took the money and he did it. Now, during sentencing in the Home Circuit Court, Justice Lorna Shelley described the incident as brazen and cruel. Of course it was brazen and cruel. We saw the video. This woman is in a taxi coming home from work. The taxi approaches the gate to the facility where she lives or to the place where she lives. And as the gate was opening, they rode up on some bike, some yang, some motorcycle. 2 men jumped off the bike and started shooting, ran down on the car and started shooting into the car. This guy admitted, Blackwood, who is 24 years old, admitted to being the one doing the shooting from that side which killed Simone. Blackwood was ordered to serve 35 years before he is eligible for parole on each count. But then the judge slapped the family in the face and said that the sentence will run concurrent. So this man brazenly in broad daylight at 24 murders 2 productive progressive citizens and he is able to be paroled in 35 years. 30 and 20 are 50. 5 and 4 are 9. Do the maths. He'll be out at 50 something years old if they parole him then to be free to live his life again on the same island in the same country which he murdered 2 people in broad daylight. All this money I go to prison go do. When him come out of prison, he's going to be telling the younger generation about old time badness and how man did cool and wicked back in them day. I guarantee you. Blackwood was also ordered to serve 8 years and 6 months on the charges of illegal possession of firearm. However, with that concurrent run, that will factor right into the 35 years before eligible for parole. He pled guilty to 2 counts of murder and illegal possession of firearm. Not only did he plead guilty, he gave them the whole plan. He described to them who hired them, which is Simone Collymore's husband. He described to them how they did it. He described to them the incidents leading up to him doing it and saying he was pressured into doing it because his family members had something to do with badman business, and badman tell him say, hey, member say your family no bring back my thing yet, you know. Oh, so, and he had to do it. That was his excuse, right? A stupid, pardon my language, shitty ass excuse for taking two people's lives. Now I have to question the system. Again, I've said to people before that Vybz Kartel is not in prison for what they said he is in prison for. You got to understand how Jamaica is ran and how the system is set up. And if you go against the system, that is in any system. If you buck the system is going to buck back really hard. Kartel is seen as one of those people that bucked the system. It wasn't about the tattoos on the skin, and it wasn't about the bleaching of the skin. It wasn't even so much about talking about sex all the time and gun lyrics. That's not what it's about. There's a lot of new gun lyrics and new artists that have came out since Kartel that are actually on the top of the rotations right now. Bleach out till them peel. Tattoo full up them body. Talk about them gun all the time. And who them splash out Marapan and all that. So it wasn't about that. It was about his influence and his grip. It was also about him making people wiser. See, Kartel tricked the system. He had the system believing he was spreading bleach your skin, tattoo up yourself, talk about gun, we are bad man. But if you listen to a lot of his songs, he was actually telling the ghetto youths them how to make it through the system without depending on the system. He became a very successful businessman. They didn't like that. Not only was he bucking the system, he was making more money than most of them. They did not like that. He had to be put in his place. I remember one church leader said that if Vybz Kartel was not incarcerated at the time that he was, Jamaica would not have a school system today. And this was a prominent church leader that said this. So that tells me that even the church had conspired along with government to get rid of this Vybz Kartel element because it had become more influential than school system, than church system, than government. Facts. This is a big slap in the face of why could they not have just simply said you are sentenced to a true life sentence, that is prison without the possibility of parole. Because the crime you committed was so gruesome, the way you did it and the reason you did it, we believe you will always be a danger to society and you need to be contained. Slam the gavel and call it the end of the day. Why not just do that? So you see when me say, Kartel there which part him there? For another reason, these are the things I talk about. These are the things I talk about and use as examples. Now, some people left some comments over here and Nicola said that he should be hanged until death. These young boys taking too many lives in Jamaica, which is true. They no longer value life. Money over everything, right? Money over principles, money over discipline, money over life. Marjorie Crawford Dunn says life in prison to sit and get fat on taxpayers' hard-earned money. I think Jamaica not only needs to bring back death penalty, but I'm very skeptical about death penalty. But for sure, if you are seen on CCTV and you're caught, and it's beyond the reasonable shadow of, or beyond the shadow of a doubt, then hard labor should be put back into the prisons. Nobody now broke rock stone and build wall again. Use them to beautify the island. When they go to prison and them have to bend them back under the sun, slinging a sledgehammer, breaking rocks to make walls, they will think twice about going to prison. Right now, prison are party time, especially if you're linking them already in prison. You're just going to a reunion. And them come out worse than before because now they have a network. Prison is like going to networking school right now. Badman networking school. This is where you go to make serious links. So when you do your little time and come back out, and don't worry about coming back out, because there's a lot of people calling shots from behind those walls. You see it. Boy, I don't know. Somebody says we need more cameras. This is Mrs. Soul B says we need more cameras set up discreetly somewhere in Jamaica to watch these criminals, especially in a culture where people are afraid to be witnesses. And I have been calling for the CCTV fishbowl program for a couple of years now. We see nothing happening. They were supposed to come up with this Jamaica Eye thing and put it into play where cameras would be everywhere and these kind of things. None of that is happening. Cameras here and there, yes. But Jamaica needs far more cameras. We even came up with a way that they should do it, in a way that would even provide jobs, respectable job positions for citizens, productive, progressive citizens. So not only were we dealing with the security of the island, we were also dealing with providing jobs. Somebody is asking now, so what will the husband get? What will her husband get? Because he's the one who cold-heartedly hired a hitman to murder the mother of his children and his wife. This man name also calling other murders, and one of them was done in Florida, an ex of his. But we're not going to talk about that on this video. I'm willing to bet right now that they're probably going to give him 35 as well, and that's it. And after 35 years, he will be able to get his parole, probably even earlier, and leave prison and come back out and live the rest of his life in beautiful Jamaica. He can go to the beach in the morning. Him can come eat him ackee and saltfish. Him can go at the gym and work out. Him can, I say go look woman. He can do all those things. After taking away the life of the mother of his children. Don't forget that part. She wasn't just his wife. She was also the mother of his children. So not only did he take away her life, he left his children without a mother. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me about this one. I'm glad him get the 35. But I think it should have been a true life sentence without the possibility of parole. I'm out. Peace.